All right, let's go ahead and get started. My name is Jamie Talbert, and I'm really excited about what we're going to be going through today because today for our webinar, we have one of my favorite people in the entire world. We have Mari Smith on the call as well. Now, I know that we have people registered from literally all around the world, so I'd like to do some call outs. So let's go ahead and, I need to turn on my video here as well. There we go. Are you seeing me now? Hopefully you're seeing my video there. And Mari is going to turn hers on as well. That way you can see us as we're going. Let me back mine up a little bit.
Hey,
there
Jimmy,
we go.
Can you hear me?
You can see us live here. And we are both really excited to go ahead and go through this information today. We've got a lot of great content. Now, I would like to go ahead and do some call outs from where people are at. So it looks like we have someone from Alabama. Looks like we've got Pennsylvania, we've got the UK, we've got Atlanta, we've got Louisville, Kentucky, Boston, Chicago, New Jersey, Costa Rica. They're going faster than I can keep up with. We've got another UK, Indonesia, Indiana. We've got Alabama, Georgia, California, Canada. We've got Nepal. It looks like we've got Ontario. We've got Germany. We've got the Netherlands. Wonderful. Ivory Coast. We've got South Dakota. We've got one from Sydney, Australia. You are up early, my friend. We've got Spain, Tennessee. We've got Oklahoma. Looks like we've got Utah. We've got Arizona. Wonderful. You're just right up the road from us here. We've got Los Angeles. That's close to Mari, I believe. So we've got Quebec and all right. So they are coming in faster than I can keep up with now. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, if anyone on the call is not familiar with Mari Smith, which I highly doubt, just to give you a little bit of a background, Mari is the leading Facebook marketing authority, often referred to as the Queen of Facebook. She is a social media thought leader, an in-demand speaker, trainer, and consultant. Mari was actually hired by Facebook to go with the company to teach businesses throughout the United States and is currently working with Facebook on a new blueprint certification program. So that's definitely exciting as well. Mari serves as a brand ambassador for many leading global companies. We are so excited to have her with us. She's also an expert webinar leader, a dynamic live webcast host, and the authority in new relationship marketing and a consultant of Facebook marketing. So let's go ahead and get started. Mari, I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to you. If you want to go ahead and share your slide, and we'll go ahead and get the ball rolling here.
Okay, perfect. Can you hear me, Jimmy?
I can.
Okay, great. So
is everyone hearing Mari come through loud and clear? I'm assuming you are.
Whoopsies. You can see my screen?
They are hearing you come through loud and clear, so you're doing good.
Good. For some reason, I can't share my video. It says you can't start your video because the host has stopped it. Is there a way you can have me share my video?
Okay, let's check this out here. Always the fun of webinar
Live, I know,
information.
Right? I always say we won't be foxed by tech.
Yeah, I believe. Let's see here. Yeah, you should be able to go up. Oh, I am seeing your screen. I take that back.
Yeah, they can see my screen and they can hear me. They just my video will not work.
But for some reason the video's not working. There's a little camera there on the directions that should, if you click that, that should.
Every time, Jimmy, every time I hit start video, it says you can't start your video because the host has stopped it. So that's all. So I don't know if you can just upgrade me to co-host.
I'm sure that they'd rather see you than me.
Yeah, it's bizarre. Unless you can just upgrade me from panelist or whatever it is to co-host. That might work. Thanks for your patience, friends. I always say we will not be foxed by technology. No matter what, the show will go on. Yeah. Yeah. I can just go and jump right ahead.
Yeah,
But
go ahead and jump
if
into it.
you're
And
able
if I can
to,
figure it out, I will. If not,
yeah,
they'll get to see me watching. So
yeah. So yeah, I'd love to come on camera because I do so many Facebook Lives, but
I would too.
it's just saying that it stopped it because the host has stopped it. So if you can make me co-host, I think that would fix the little hiccup there, but not to worry, friends. We're just going to jump right in, as it says on your screen there. Facebook marketing in a changing world. And man alive, the world has sure been changing in the world of Facebook for the last couple of years, in the last couple of months. So we have definitely seen big changes, Zuckerberg says, big changes coming. And so for those of you that tuned into the F8 Annual Developers Conference, just held there at the end of April, beginning of May, Zuck had an extremely strong message for everybody that permeated throughout the whole conference. This theme that you see on your screen here, the future is private. And that's what Zuckerberg wants to have. The future is private, he said. Well, that's what he's declaring. So let's dive in a little bit here. There we go. So this is from the Privacy Manifesto. It was about a 3,200 word privacy manifesto that kind of seems like out of the blue that Zuckerberg published. None of us were really expecting it. And this is a little small excerpt. He says, I believe the future of communication will increasingly shift to private, encrypted services where people can be confident what they say to each other stays secure and their messages and content won't stick around forever. This is the future I hope we'll bring about. So we got to really take this nugget right here and say, you know, okay, what is Zuckerberg meaning? Right now, WhatsApp is fully end-to-end encrypted. Messenger, Facebook Messenger is not encrypted, and neither is Instagram Direct. And that is what they will be working on as part of their major mission to shift and pivot to pivot to private. There you go. Jenny, we weren't able to fix it yet, eh?
I'm working on it. We'll see.
That's bizarre. Okay. So as I mentioned in some of the promotions for this webinar, is newsfeed really going away? That's what we are all wondering. And there's been a lot of speculation, and Facebook has even tested on both Instagram and Facebook. They've tested a format with no newsfeed. And what does that look like? Well, it's kind of like swiping. If anybody here uses stories, if you used stories where you can swipe left and right, it's kind of like the newsfeed posts are just blended into the stories format with swiping left and right. That's not happening just yet. This was back in April, just a headline here, Facebook test merging its newsfeed and stories into a single interface. And then they did the same thing with Instagram last year. And then Adam Mosseri, who's now head of Instagram, was like, oopsie daisy, that was a mistake. We didn't mean to do that. Yeah, right. I'm sorry, but I don't think anything is really a mistake at Facebook. And then when Chris Cox, who's a long time executive at Facebook, he gave his notice right around the time that Zuckerberg was really digging in about this privacy and wanting things to shift more to private messaging, private groups, encrypted, ephemeral, which just means not lasting, disappearing. So this is another headline here. Facebook's newsfeed era is now officially over. Well, era, by what they mean by that is over the last couple of years, Facebook has been saying they're running out of ad inventory in the newsfeed because some 90% of Facebook's users access the platform predominantly on mobile. So as you're thumbing through mobile, there just isn't enough space to put more ads in. So they have to find ways to find spaces for new ads. As Wired says here, there's no question that a new era starts today. And that was back in March when Zuckerberg published his privacy manifesto. And then the very next week, Chris Cox hands his notice in. He does not believe in, he can't quite get behind the whole fully encrypted messaging network and then turning this new page in the product direction. So Chris Cox left, and the same day, Chris Daniels, who's the head of WhatsApp, left. So I'm pointing this out because as marketers, as business people, we need to pay attention to whenever there's a major, shift in staff, especially long-time staff, that something's going on, right? Something's happening behind the scenes. So what is that? We have to kind of get our crystal ball out and read between the tea leaves. So then F8 comes along with this whole core message of the future is private, and Facebook's calling it FB5 because it's only the 5th time that they've had a major redesign. So let's take a quick peek at that. This is a screenshot of what it looks like on desktop. Most everybody here in the United States anyway probably already has the new design. On mobile, it switched right away, and it's like white, a lot of clean space, white space, a different, slightly different logo, different shade of blue, different kind of icons for navigation. But you'll see right here in the middle, there definitely still is a news feed. But it could well be that where we have these stories at the top, that those are just might become slightly bigger, more like the size of a newsfeed post, and then the newsfeed post will be integrated in there. And I'm going to play a little video. There's no sound on it, but in the next screen, let's just show them Facebook's. This is Facebook's video. They're navigating. Groups is right there front and center. You got your own tab for groups. Then that's marketplace, and they're really pushing marketplace. That's your own profile. Looks slightly different. Big focus on stories. Here's the watch platform in dark mode. And then this one I'm really excited about because this is notifications. And this is going to be so much better with notifications where you can have them down the left and you can actually interact with whatever the post is that you're getting notified about. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to that change for sure. Now then, what we have to remember in the whole rest of this presentation, and then when I hand it back off to Jimmy, you're going to see that this is a belief that I know I've had for forever, since I got on Facebook in 2007. That's over 12 years now, that the Facebook land is rented. We are all tenants on Facebook's property, all social networks. So we want to be focusing on making sure, yes, you want to build an audience and build your community and, you know, share content, but you also want to be collecting leads. Okay, definitely need to be collecting leads and driving people over to your own website, your own lead generation system. And I'm going to show you some examples, some great examples. I keep going back to check that camera and it's just not working today, is it? That's so bizarre. So I wonder maybe if just everybody's camera is turned off and I'm included in it, but it shouldn't be that way because I'm definitely presenting. So, oh well. Anyway, so what I'm going to teach you now is what I call my Mari method. I'm going to give you the high level view of it, and then I'm going to give you an example, because if Facebook's rented land and they're shifting more over to private and messaging, I mean, how can we really capitalize on what Facebook offers and generate real business? So I always recommend you actually do start with a piece of great content. This would be more on the organic side. Video, I recommend a ratio of about 70% video on your Facebook business page, and then about 20% photos and 10% links. Links tend to get the lowest reach and engagement organically, but you can still put links and calls to actions inside of your video posts and your photo posts. And I recommend less is more. You actually want to post a little bit less as opposed to trying to really ramp up the volume and publishing more when you feel like nobody's seeing your content. Organic reach is still very, very low. But at the same time, you want to start with a great piece of content, publish it on your wall, get some organic reach for about 1 to 24 hours, and then promote with ad budget. Now, it's funny, folks, but this is the deal. You will actually find you're going to get more organic reach when you give Facebook money, even if it's $1 in a post, $5, $10, you give Facebook a little bit of money and you're going to get more organic reach. The nice thing with a video, when you put ad budget behind it, you can add that little call to action button. This is a quick example here of a Facebook Live I did for one of my clients, and you can see we've got a nice reach, 170,000 almost, 125,000 views on this Facebook Live. For my clients here. This was really a great result. Now this was obviously well, it's not obvious to you, but but it is definitely paid. There's part paid and part free, part organic. And there's that where my cursor is at the bottom here. That's what I mean by a CTA button. When you give Facebook even $1, like let's say you posted a video post or you went Facebook Live and you have, you just put $1 on, and then you can add the little call to action button to your video, which is kind of nice. You can still, as you can see in my screenshot up top here, I have still put a link in, a call to action and a link above the fold, right? You want it above the little see more button. So that's a great example there of what I'm talking about. Next, you want to definitely get into creating custom audiences. And this is a bit more advanced and a little beyond the scope of this training, but you definitely want to be building what's called custom audiences, which is where you take either your own email list and upload it to Facebook. It's completely encrypted. They don't suddenly start emailing your contacts, but they just match it to who those folks are. Or you have the Facebook pixel, but the easiest way to do, I'll come back to that in a moment, the easiest way to create a custom audience, because I said start with a video, is you can then go into Facebook Ads Manager and you build a custom audience based on people who have viewed your video. Now you can split out the segments. You could have people who have viewed just 3 seconds, get my word right, 3 seconds, which is the standard for counting as a video view on Facebook. But then you can go up to 10 seconds, or you could go 25% of the video, 50%, so on. There's where the pixel comes in. If you want to install a Facebook pixel on your website so that you can gather the people who visited your website, your landing page, your offer page, your sales page, and then you want to retarget them. Studies are showing it's taken about 17 touches to get people to convert into an actual sale. I mean, that's including getting them as a lead, but so that someone's not going to just see a Facebook ad one time or an Instagram ad and go right to your website and magically whip out their credit card and make a purchase. That would be nice, but that's just not how it works. So you want to do that retargeting with the custom audiences. And then here's where the secret sauce is making good use of what Facebook calls lookalike audiences. Many of you might have experienced that before, but if you've not, this is where you say to Facebook, make me an audience of people to target that look like people who visited my website, or people who viewed my video, or a really good one to do is making a list or downloading from your email system the people who are your best customers, and you go to Facebook and say, hey, create me a list of people that look like this, right? Why wouldn't you want to expand people who've been buying from you? And then you retarget different content, place different content. So that was very complex. I mean, this just one slide, we could do a whole entire course on that. Then I'm going to recommend with your videos, this is something I'm seeing more marketers slowly, they're a little bit slow in the uptake, but Facebook would love for us to do more watch parties, because watch parties is a way to get more visibility on your videos, which is what we all want, more visibility. So you can encourage your audience to host a watch party with your video content on their profile, their page, or their group. You also definitely want to be building community in a private group. This is coming up in a moment in my later slides. Facebook's really all in on groups right now. And then I always recommend amplifying that across other social platforms. You don't want to put all your eggs in the Facebook basket. I know nobody here has done that, but include Instagram. Remember, Instagram is owned by Facebook. It's really kind of the darling of social media right now. Time spent is going up. They're adding more features. It's really doing great. But I love Twitter. I use Twitter a lot, a little bit of LinkedIn, some YouTube, but mostly Facebook. You want to have one that you're kind of all in on. So what does the future look like right now? I want to take a peek at one app that's going to kind of give you a glimpse into why Facebook is kind of shifting the way they're shifting. And this icon, if you don't know it, is China's WeChat. And WeChat, at this stage in my presentation, when I talk about WeChat, I will often show a video. I'm not going to show it right now, but you can Google it. It's a video by the New York Times. It put out a couple of years ago now about WeChat, and it shows how it's like every single app in one: Venmo and Skype and Tinder and Facebook and Messenger and WhatsApp, everything. You can do everything inside this one app. Now, Facebook will never be like an all-in-one app, but with their entire family, the big four, right, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Messenger, they could get close. They could get close to competing with WeChat. They've also got, the Watch platform is that little blue icon, Live, Groups, Marketplace. So all of the different family of apps and services, Facebook will be able to, quote unquote, compete with the likes of China's WeChat. And WeChat's really light years ahead. They have entire like hospital systems that, you can book appointments and find recommended doctors, and financial system. You can do all your investing, banking through the app. So I don't know. I think trust is kind of an all-time low right now with Facebook. So they're really moving forward in this whole conversation about trust and privacy. I'm excited though. I think it's a big opportunity right now. As you see in your screen, there's a really big opportunity right now for smart marketers. You definitely do need a budget, as I say, and it can be very challenging for folks because they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I tried Facebook ads. I meet people, they'll tell me, you know, Mari, I spent $10,000 on Facebook ads and I got nothing. I'm like, whoa, we need to talk. This is that's not a good sign. And it's, you know, usually because there's a lack of just training or education. I want you to meet one of my community members, Dr. P. Now, he's actually a client and longtime friend of my partner, Christopher, and they've been working together on a product launch. I want to show you these startling stats because, and keep in mind that slide I had earlier when I said that Facebook is rented land. So Dr. P is a long established medical doctor, and he specializes in detox drugs, particularly opioids. And he has this incredible process. It's a 3-day pain-free, withdrawal-free. And it's very tricky to advertise that on Facebook. Some of you might know you need a legit script. You have to be verified and qualified to be able to advertise anything to do with medical. And so look at what these results that my partner and utilized some of my methodologies with Dr. Pete. So this new product launch, a breakthrough drug detox method. They started a page, that page I just showed you. This is a brand new page just a few weeks ago. Has 6 fans. And this is the importance of me sharing this particular slide with you, is that it's not always about the vanity metrics. Vanity metrics or proxy metrics, they're forward facing. It's things like your fans, your followers, your likes, engagement. All of those they have their place, but it's not the be all end all. So it started out with a Facebook page, 6 fans. They created a Facebook event. Now what Dr. Pete's going to be doing is doing like a new breakthroughs in a drug detox specifically for licensed psychologists and therapists. So utilizing Facebook's targeting methodologies, creating the event, promoting the event through Eventbrite. They used Eventbrite and they're collecting emails, and nobody cares that the page has 6 fans, right? Because what they're seeing is the ad in their newsfeed or in their stories. And they had a goal to get 20 attendees at this event in Newport Beach, and spent $350 ad budget over a couple of weeks. They had to keep, actually had to go and get a bigger room because their goal was 20. They ended up with 90 registrations. Actually, last I checked, Christopher told me yesterday, they have over 117 people registered. And that's on a Facebook page with 6 fans. So that's the point I'm making, is that don't get caught up in like, you must have lots and lots of fans. If you really know what you're doing, you can create a simple event like this. It's at UC Irvine. It's actually going to be, what's today? The 28th. It's tomorrow evening. And just a great result. It's a tremendous result and a great example. So some takeaways is targeting is vital. So they were absolutely targeting within a certain geographic area, getting the right message to the right audience, the highest value. You can even shortcut your content strategy. If you went to Dr. Pete's page, you'd see he has hardly anything on his page. And it's like I say, 6 fans. So actually, I think he's up to a few more now, not that much though. And you want to really focusing on measuring the right sales goals, because if we get caught up and saying, oh my gosh, we need to build a page first, we need thousands of fans, we need this strategy and that strategy, we need Facebook Live and videos and content and calls to action, and you're building. Okay, now we're going to do some ads. Well, what if you had the goal like Dr. Pete and you just were able to fill a seminar room, and then you can always come back and start building out the page. So it's not about proxy metrics or vanity metrics. Facebook calls them proxy metrics, which is everything that's not really a sales. And Jimmy's going to share a little bit in a moment about some of the great results that you can achieve using the Keap software. So now I promised you 3 different areas that Facebook's focusing on. I actually do have a bonus one, so I do have 4, but I wanted to emphasize the private aspect of what I had in the screen earlier, where Zuckerberg is going all in on privacy. That's absolutely what he wants to do, is make sure that we're focusing on just keeping content away from prying eyes like the government. That's my interpretation. Here's Asha Sharma. She's the director of Messenger. She took over from David Marcus. So what they're actually doing with Messenger is really fascinating to watch, because Messenger has always been a messaging platform, right? It was baked right into Facebook, and then they pulled it out and put it into a separate app. But now what they're doing is they're building a social network around Messenger. So we're going to see in the coming months that we're going to want to, as marketers, make sure that we're placing ads in Messenger, make sure that we've got our making use of Messenger bots. There's also what you see now, this is desktop Messenger. So this is a really big change for Facebook. We're going to be able to have a separate standalone desktop app for PCs and Macs for Messenger. So that shows you, you know, they're really wanting to be much more front and center. They're also going to do in the coming years, this is WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and Instagram Direct, that all three will have what they call interoperability. So if I'm chatting with someone, or if I want to, maybe Messenger is my favorite platform because I'm in the US, but I'm talking to somebody who's outside and somewhere in Europe, they prefer WhatsApp. But if I send a message in Messenger, it will reach them on WhatsApp. That's what they mean by interoperability, and end-to-end encryption is coming to all three. So as marketers, it's going to be a really interesting area to watch. My good friend Larry Kim is the founder of Mobile Monkey, which is a chatbot company, and he predicts that Facebook Messenger chatbots will be the #1 growth marketing channel for the next 5 to 10 years. Now, as marketers, we have to be careful to not use Messenger just as a broadcast tool. It's not about just blasting your subscribers. In fact, Facebook just made a big change there that we have to make sure we get permission to be able to send broadcasts. But some of the things on the bright side, what Messenger automation can do for you is set appointments, provide updates, generate leads for sure. You can ask people directly for their email. In fact, you already have their email because you're accessing their Facebook account, or not account, but they log in through their account. Nurture relationships, build trust, offer instant customer support. This is one of my favorites, this last bullet here, because if people are asking specifically for, you know, directions or help or a product question, something like that, and you'll see major brands using that customer support. I'm actually speaking next week at the Customer Service Summit here in San Diego. Some major brands coming to that. So that's on Messenger side. We want to definitely, let me just back up for a second. With chatbot automation, take a look at either mobilemonkey.com, or ManyChat, M-A-N-Y. ManyChat are two excellent companies to check out for setting up a bot. On the private side, on the disappearing side, again, stories, they disappear. Zuckerberg has said for some time now that people have this tendency to share more openly and comfortably when they think their content's not going to stick around. Now, of course, friends, between you and me, I wouldn't be exposing too much information in your stories just because you know they're going to be disappearing in 24 hours. Still be careful there. But stories are definitely growing rapidly. Just a few quick examples on your screen there. I like this. I like to add a little animated GIF. Then you've got countdown timers. You've got polls. Anything interactive that you can do with your stories to get people to touch their phones. People love touching their phones. Or then just a little video. Just a little video. I like all the filters. I've had this slide in my presentations, I'm not kidding, friends, for the last 2 years, and it's never been more true than today. Instagram is Facebook's next Facebook. They did a study, a survey in America, in the United States last year, and guess what, friends? 50% of the people they surveyed do not know that Instagram is owned by Facebook. Good grief, eh? It's wild. It's wild. Zuck has said that stories are the future. So he's saying privacy is the future, stories is the future. Stories are growing 15 times faster than feed content. That left to right swipe, that ability to consume as much or as little content as you want. You'll see some people that share 20, 30 stories a day, and some people share one every other day, right? So there's a couple more examples. These are all actually ads. You can see, if you see at the top where my cursor is, I save ads all the time. I save them on Facebook and Instagram to come back and study them. And I got my little folders. So with the swipe up, that's just a simple one. Every single one of these, by the way, is not really been made or optimized for stories. All of these were, these two, the middle one and the right one are just regular posts. That's actually a landscape video on the right, then a square video in the middle. And that's just a link post on the left. But you might not even realize it, but you're actually, let me mute that, it's just some music playing. Just a video ad, and you are placing ads in the stories format, whether you realize it or not, because they automatically get placed into the stories format. So I'm just making some chocolate goodies over there. I like this kind of video too. This is really clever with being able to see drag and drop. It's like, you're seeing somebody's screen and you're like, wait, what was that? I got to check that out. Just look at the numbers of views, 1.7 million views, 2.7 million views, amazing. So great stories ads, examples of stories ads. So really emphasizing stories. Groups. And by the way, let me just confirm on stories 1 second. I want to make sure that even if you are not bothering to make stories, publish stories, and do anything with stories, you definitely want to be doing some with ads. And if you're doing anything in ads and you're leaving automatic placement, then you are advertising in stories. So don't feel bad if you're not doing lots and lots of stories. The third area that Facebook's going all in on is groups. And I've also put my little private stamp on that, because even though it might be a wide open public group with, tens of thousands of members, it's still a much smaller community than being in the public with, 2.3 billion people on Facebook. People tend to get a little more, feeling like they're with their tribe and building that meaningful community. This is what Zuckerberg wants. He announced that last January. Meaningful social interaction, and groups is one of the ways to really do that and nurture your relationships with your community members. Some things coming for news for business on the group side, definitely getting that prominent positioning on Facebook's new design, that FB5 that I showed you earlier. Reach stats are coming in groups. We'll be able to see our reach, and the boost button is coming to be able to boost posts from your group to people outside of your group. That's really exciting to me. And this one, hello, custom audiences are coming. I have a screenshot for that. I don't have them yet, but this is actually from Sally Hendricks. Shout out to our friend Sally Hendricks. This is one of her clients. But you can see this is a screenshot from inside of Facebook Ads Manager. Remember earlier I was talking about the importance of creating custom audiences for retargeting. There's your website traffic with the pixel. There's your video views. You can also do anyone who's interacted with your Facebook page or your Instagram business profile, but coming soon is doing custom audiences based on people inside of your group. You won't be able to do, I'm pretty positive that you won't be able to do custom audiences based on other people's groups. It'll be your group. Speaking of groups, meet one of my clients, Ursula. She is actually the top earner in Zingular. It's a weight loss direct sales company. I do a lot of training on social media and direct sales companies, and Ursula is just amazing what she does in her groups. She has a secret group, not public, not open, not even closed or private, but secret, which means you can only join it if a friend adds you, right? So she has almost 100,000 members. And what's super cool about what Ursula does is she uses this group simply called Be Your Best Self, and she goes live in here, does videos, interacts with her entire tribe. And the whole premise is to just talk about results. They talk about their testimonies. In fact, she calls this her testimony group. So people come in here and they talk about their weight loss, how they're feeling better, they have more energy, they're getting better sleep, their relationship improved, whatever. But nobody talks about the product or the opportunity. You have to talk to your sponsor, your upline, the person that invited you to the group. So she's doing amazing things with this group strategy. The fourth and my final few minutes, and then I'm going to be handing back over to Jimmy in a minute. And then we've got lots of time for Q&A today. So just, you can be popping your questions in, anything that you want us to clarify, go deeper on, we're happy to do that. So video, I don't have the private stamp on video because video is definitely public, but Facebook, even though they didn't really talk about it that much at F8, they're definitely still wanting to be big time all in on video and be like the next digital streaming television. And you can see on the Watch platform, you've got like Red Table Talk is doing extremely well. And then Will Smith with his bucket list is doing quite well. Jay Shetty down here, he does really good with his videos. On the food side, the stay-at-home chef, she does, Rachel Farnsworth does amazing with her recipes. She gets like 50 million views a week on her recipe videos on her Watch show. It's amazing. Zuck actually has a separate mission statement for videos, and that is to create shared experiences and a sense of belonging through video. He's very, very committed to competing with YouTube, but not being like YouTube where it's like just passively consuming content by yourself. That's why they're creating things like watch parties and polls and groups connected to pages. This show here with Jordan Woods actually broke records, 31 million views. Now, those are way longer than 3 seconds. Let me tell you, those are like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. The show itself is about 25 minutes. And so that's what Facebook wants us to do. They want us to create longer videos now. So that's 3 minutes or more. You'll be able to monetize. I don't think it's going to be a huge amount of money, but if you're able to build slowly over time, you'll be able to add, Facebook as one of your revenue sources when you're monetizing your videos. BuzzSumo are saying here that the best Facebook post format is video. You can see in terms of engagement, it gets the most engagement. And typically the most reach, and then Facebook Live gets 6 times the engagement. So a Facebook strategy, I recommend that you focus, that's just my timer going off. You can focus on the ROI of each post. So don't go publishing more and more posts, just cramming your newsfeed or your page full of posts. Try to step back and go deeper on one post at a time. Shareable, optimizing for mobile. So doing videos that are square or full screen vertical, or 4x5 or 2x3 vertical. I have a great company I work with called Wave. Many of you are familiar with it and hear me talking about it. We have a challenge group, but the cool thing, they at the click of a button, you can turn any video into whatever size format you want and optimize it. It's super cool. And so just to reemphasize, this is Zuckerberg, that he's saying that the fastest growing services are private messaging, right? So that's WhatsApp, Instagram Direct, and Facebook Messenger. Stories across both Instagram and Facebook, they each have 500 million daily active users. And then small groups. He says expects Facebook and Instagram to continue growing, right? But they haven't quite reached saturation because there is a tiny bit of growth going on in Facebook and quite a bit of growth still on Instagram with over 1 billion users. But he's saying that the privacy-focused platforms will grow faster. This is just some screenshots of Zuck on stage back at F8 April 30th. And he says, this is the captions. Privacy gives us the freedom to be ourselves. It's easier to feel like you belong when you're part of smaller communities amongst your closest friends. So that's him really setting the foundation for how important groups are. So that's going to be one major piece of homework today. If you haven't already, really pick a group that maybe you're going to do more than one group. You have a group that's connected to your page. Going for what I call your 1,000 true fans, a wonderful concept created by Kevin Kelly, 15 years ago or so. You're not looking for millions. You're not even looking for tens of thousands. You're looking for initially your 1,000 true fans, or people who will really purchase from you, buy from you, follow you, sign up for things. Start out by publishing engaging video content, definitely embracing Instagram and Facebook stories, integrate messenger marketing slowly. Check out a bot, just start real gently with some messenger marketing, and then you can scale from there, and definitely building community in niche groups. And it's amazing, by the way, in terms of moderating, you can always get volunteers to be happy to moderate in your groups. So I've got my questions thing up here, but we're going to switch back over to Jimmy, and then he'll do a short presentation, and then we'll both do some Q&A. Back to you, Jimmy.
All right, I think you can hear me again now, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so let's go ahead and share my screen again there. There we go. And all right, so just to kind of tie things together. So one of the things that I absolutely love about Mari's content is that it goes hand in hand with what we provide here at Keap, and that we give you the ability to do a lot of things, and Facebook in general and Instagram give you the ability to get a lot of exposure, a lot of traffic, to get ads in front of the right people, to build organic exposure as well. And so what we're going to talk about a little bit now is how to take some of that exposure and some of that brand that you build there, and then start to convert that into leads and eventually customers, right? People who will actually give you money. So to think about that, I want you to think about sort of initially, actually, I'm going to start by talking about a story that I personally had. So where I was actually the consumer, as opposed to anything else. So a couple of years ago, it was around Christmas time, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I saw a contest on Facebook where they were advertising for a free ride on tickets to the Polar Express, which is I live in Arizona, so it's a train that goes around the Grand Canyon. You get to see Santa, and it's fun for kids, and I have young children, so I decided that would be something that they'd be very interested in. So I enter the contest. As part of that, I have to like the page, share the post, and then also give my email address. And so I give my email address, and next day I get an email that says, "This is Nielsen Law Group. We're facilitating this contest. We'll let you know if you win," basically, right? And we're also going to send you some other valuable content. So a couple days later, I got a couple emails from them, and it's probably the next week or so, just after the first of the year. So a couple weeks later, I get an email about that says, if you own a business, you could save money on taxes. And I thought, well, I do have a small business, and nobody wants to pay more taxes than they need to. So I go ahead and enter that contest, and or not that contest, sorry. I download that white paper. I have to give a little bit more information, like some other basic information, and I download it. I read it. It was nothing earth-shattering, to be realistic, but then it also gave me the opportunity at the end to request a one-to-one free consultation, where they would examine what I've done in the past as far as deductions and what I could potentially do. I thought, what the heck? I'll go in and do it. I also noticed during this time that they're using our software. They got my information from a Facebook campaign, and now they're marketing with our software. So I go ahead and request the consultation, and I go in and talk to the man there. His name is Evan, and he was the attorney there. So it's a law firm that does tax accounting or tax services. They do estate planning. They do a whole bunch of stuff. And I mentioned to him, I said, "Hey, Evan, I noticed that you're using our software. I work over here at what was then Infusionsoft, now Keap." And I said, how's that working out for you? And he said, that campaign was incredible. He said, I actually generated over 200 new leads with that campaign, with very, very little initial spend, but because people were sharing it and stuff, it did exceptionally well on its own. And he said, and so this is probably the beginning of February by this point. And he said, you're actually the 12th new client that I got from that one campaign. And I know I'm probably a small fish as far as most that use his services, but I pay him now $1,100 a year to handle the taxes for my different LLCs and as well as for my personal. And so you think about the value of what that's brought over the past few years, just as me as a client, as well as others as clients, from running that one campaign. And it was just a testament to me how the power of combination of sort of marketing automation social media and marketing automation can work together. And so, but without that follow-up thereafter, he probably wouldn't have gotten me. Okay, had I just seen that on Facebook, again, I was entering a contest that had nothing to do with accounting when I initially entered the contest. So if we kind of visualize what that's like, what sort of the typical, I guess, sales funnel is like in many ways. You think about it, okay, businesses go out and they sort of generate interest, which is oftentimes some of the most time consuming, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on organic to their website, whether it's on their blog or paid ads or whatever. They get some leads and they sell the hot ones, and they get a few clients out of that. They sigh in relief, and then they start over. Well, the question is sort of what happened to all the other people? So if he got 200 and he followed up once with all of them, or he never followed up with them, well, maybe he might get one client out of it, which his ROI probably still would have been okay. But the real question is, what happened to all the rest? And so I think that any business would agree that the greatest opportunity or the greatest cost in any business is missed opportunity. So that usually falls into three different buckets. You lost interest initially, lost leads, so leads that you get that don't convert, and then not optimizing lifetime customer value of everyone that you're working with. And this can be very, very difficult. And so if we look at this from a numbers standpoint, you get in front of a certain amount of people. Okay, let's say you get 100 leads out of something and you get 10 new customers. Well, then the other question is, what happened to the other 90? In many ways, they end up slipping through the cracks. They don't get followed up with. They end up going with a competitor because it's really all about timing. At the end of the day, people buy when they're ready to buy. And so when I'm talking about following up, I'm talking about in lots of ways. So them seeing you on Facebook is one way. Them seeing you on Instagram is another way. Them getting emails from you, getting phone calls from you, getting all these different things. So we end up kind of throwing those in the trash because we're always chasing that new business. So what we want to do is we want to ultimately capitalize on that opportunity and automate that follow-up process as much as possible. Offer value, just like Mari talked about, value with the content and putting out content that is very applicable to your ideal customer and that best customer, that perfect customer. And at the end of the day, educate, nurture, and make the sale and rinse and repeat that model as much as possible. Now, the reason that's difficult for a lot of businesses is because you have all these different systems working in different directions. So you might have something like you have your social media, you might have a separate system for landing pages, you might have a separate system to take payment, you might have a separate system for email marketing, I think everyone's been guilty of the sticky notes at times there. And you might have a CRM or a spreadsheet. You're keeping track of everything. But the point is, when all of these are different systems and you're a business and you're trying to manually tie all these things together, you become this human USB cord that's trying to connect all the dots. And so what you're really doing is you're running your business based on a philosophy that says something like, if you want something done right, do it yourself. And I think we'd all agree that that's not the way that successful business owners run their business. Successful business owners run their business based on a philosophy that says, if you want something done right, build a process around it. Okay, process is truly in place for businesses that are built to last. Process creates scalability, and you can't develop scalable process without the appropriate systems and automation in place where necessary. Okay, Entrepreneur Magazine said that in today's competitive environment, automation is not a luxury, it's a requirement for keeping a competitive edge. In fact, the benefits of automation are so numerous, you can't afford to ignore them. And so if we look at how does Infusionsoft and Keap help you actually tie all this together as far as what you've learned today. Okay, we help you attract and capture the right kinds of leads. We help you personalize your nurture and follow-up, close more sales, wow and upsell your customers, and ultimately get reviews and referrals. So how that's manifested in the software is simple. We give you the ability to easily build a professional looking landing pages that are accessible across any device, that can be also shared in a variety of places, including on your Facebook. You can create custom domains and embed them on your site and ultimately track what's happening. So on your site, track whether or not what people are doing, whether or not they give you their information initially. That way, once you do get their information, you know exactly what pages they've viewed on your site. Giving you the ability to use a drag and drop format or builder. So this is a screenshot of our campaign builder to actually build scalable and repeatable sales and marketing campaigns, sales and marketing funnels. And do things in a way where you're able to really leverage, very easy to use design email templates that are accessible across any device, because we all know that most people look at emails on their phone as much as on their desktop, right? And using drag and drop email builder to put that together, being able to A/B split test what's working and what's not, so you can divide out a certain amount of your list, and then also use more than just email in a follow-up. So being able to send an email and then maybe trigger a phone call if necessary, maybe eventually send an SMS. and then also be able to actually know exactly who your hottest leads are and who's not, score them appropriately based on how they're engaging with you, based on what they're doing on your website, what they're clicking on, and then giving you a lot of options to be able to sell, whether it's through invoicing, through quoting, through, on a shopping cart. So whether you're someone who sells belly to belly or you're someone who sells online, giving you the ability to very easily be able to manage that, and then ultimately get repeat sales, referrals, divide out who is hot, who's a promoter of your business and who's not, and go on from there. What we really help you do is we help you fix your follow-up failure, and increase that conversion, help you attract more of the right kinds of leads, and help you build your brand. So we do that through a lot of different ways. So our technology helps facilitate that. And then we also partner with people like Mari and other experts in different industries to bring those strategies to us through a variety of different events and different things. We provide to you stability, secure data hosting, world-class email deliverability. We're sending over 100 billion emails off of our servers on behalf of our clients, and delivering them to the inbox over 99.4% of the time. That's absolutely incredible. Unlimited support by phone and chat. So if you call in, you get someone in our building, and all future releases are always free. And I can tell you from experience, and Mari would attest to this as well, the platform does consistently get easier and easier and easier. Okay, there's a reason why we're trusted by people like Mari Smith, like Tony Robbins, Dave Ramsey, Damon John, Ryan Dice, Frank Kern, Allie Brown, and Sally Hogshead. So we do have a special today for people on this webinar. So the typical price to get Keap or Infusionsoft is in most cases starts about $99 a month. And then we have some consulting that everybody gets, where we break down your sales and marketing funnel and then help you put in place the right ads and the right follow-up and the right business strategy to help you operate. And so for everyone on the call, we prepared a special deal where actually you get 50% off of your subscription cost for your first 3 months. And then we also are going to do 50% off of the implementation cost. So it goes from $499 to $249. And so I'm going to place a link in the chat where you can fill out that link. All it does, it's not going to ask you for payment information or anything like that. Initially, all it's going to do is actually just get you talking to the right person so that you can make the best decision for you. So let me go ahead and get that link here. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put that into the chat, and then we're going to actually just jump into Q&A. So Mari, do you want to take there's for sure more questions for you than for me. So if you want to get started.
No problem. Yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah. It's a great offer, by the way. Oh my gosh.
Incredible. Yeah.
And folks, I have actually been an Infusionsoft customer since 2009. So 10 years I've used the software. It's pretty amazing. Made a lot of money with it. all my courses and products. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's see. I did see a few. We've got some in the Q&A and some in the chat. So I wanted to address one from Sonia Stringer. Hiya, Sonia. I'm so happy you're here. She's asking if newsfeed is going away, quote unquote. What would be the best way for businesses to advertise on Facebook? So the interesting thing about advertising on Facebook is they're doing so much in an automated fashion using AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. In fact, some of you may have noticed when you go to your Facebook page on desktop now, they actually have a little section there at the top of your wall encouraging you to get started with automated ads. So their whole like placement and figuring out how to optimize and the auction system, it's all really controlled by their algorithms and machine learning. So I think for right now, Sonia and everybody, it's like we don't need to be too worried about how to pivot with our ads, because no matter what kind of ads you're doing, they're going to be automatically optimized for placement in stories format. So, and I would say, but at the same time, I would create more like vertical video, square video. I like Jay Shetty's style of video when he does like the 4x5 or 2x3, and then there's a block. They call it sometimes letterbox. So that's a good one. But yeah, I think you'll be doing just fine. Is try some other things too, like I mentioned with Dr. Pete, they just did a Facebook event and advertised it and really optimized it. That was really great. I saw, Sonia was also asking about, several of you had questions about the chatbots, messenger chatbots, ManyChat or Mobile Monkey. Sonia's asking what's the best way to use about capturing email and send to lead magnet on a web page. Great question, and they really just do both. It's going to be just boiling down to personal preference. I would try one on one page and the other on another page and just see, you know, they both offer free trials or free forever accounts. And so I just check them out and see which ones you like. I use Mobile Monkey at the moment, but I've also used ManyChat. I like them both. Sheila is asking, I recently found out that I could not do a direct ad to get people to join my group. Do you have any suggestions? That's another excellent question. It's something that's long awaited. People would love to be able to promote their groups and to get more members. And it's coming. I have heard from very reliable sources that is coming later this year, and which is cool because, you know, Facebook actually just recently, in the last maybe year or so, allowed us to create groups from our page and join groups as our page and moderate and engage in groups as our page. So the next natural step is for our pages to be able to promote groups as paid experiences. Oh, Belladonna, nice question. She said, I've always chosen edit placement for my ads. Do you recommend using automatic placement now? You know, this is superb, and I'm really glad that you're asking that. This is a pretty intelligent question, and others do well to pay attention. But Facebook wants you to just leave it as automatic placement if you're kind of a, you know, novice to intermediate advertiser. But as soon as you start becoming more of an advanced and sophisticated advertiser, you definitely want to do what you're doing, Belladonna, and that is to hit edit placement. And especially, let's say you've created a vertical video, so it's optimized for the story format, and you're going to click and maybe your audience is predominantly on Instagram. So you're going to go in there and edit placements and place that vertical video as a stories ad on Instagram with your target audience. You'll probably get better results than if you just put a vertical video in and just said, let's do automatic placement. So the bottom line is definitely to test. Yeah, you're so welcome. And feel free to interrupt me at any time here, Jimmy. I'm just blazing through these. Crystal is saying, I'm a makeup artist and hairstylist. I also now have my own cosmetics brand. Good for you, Crystal. How could Keap be good for you? Oh, that's actually for you. That's a question for you, Jimmy. How would Keap be good for her?
All right. So how Keap work for you? So tell me, Crystal, are you currently selling online, offline, or a little bit of both? I guess I'll go ahead and answer the question regardless. So
she says both.
What it ultimately comes down to is being able to gather your leads from lots of different places and giving you the ability to truly get the right message to the right person at the right time and increase that lifetime customer value of everybody that you're working with, get the right referrals and reviews. So, for example, if someone buys one product from you, how many people do you think buy one thing but maybe don't buy another? A study was done about a year ago that asked people that question. When you buy one thing, if you buy from another vendor, why did you do that? And the overwhelming answer was indifference. The brand just didn't become that, didn't build that loyalty. It's not that they did a bad job, they just something didn't connect. And that's where that appropriate follow-up to build your brand in conjunction with a solid social media strategy, like what Mario talked about, is absolutely critical.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice. Very nice. Here's one from Kim is asking, are watch parties going to get a higher ranking than live broadcasts? That's an excellent question there, Kim, as well. You know, it's interesting. I've done a couple of watch parties in my profile and also some on my page. And I noticed that when I did one on my profile, I saw friends that I hadn't interacted with, I'm not kidding, in years, suddenly like, hey, what do you do? Was it just popping up? So I think that Facebook's kind of stepping on the accelerator, if you will, giving more priority to watch parties and live broadcasts. I'm not sure that one's getting preference over the other. A really cool thing to do is, let's say you do a live broadcast and you've already rallied your affiliate partners or joint venture partners or even just super fans, and you've got maybe half a dozen of them have agreed to do a watch party publicly on their page with your live broadcast. That would be an amazing way to get lots and lots of reach. Very good. I saw another couple questions in here. Andrew McEwen. Hello there, Andrew. That's a good Scottish name. What do you think of messenger marketing? Okay, so if you asked me that question about a year and a half ago, I'd be like, oh my gosh, messenger marketing is going to be the latest, greatest. Everybody needs to jump on. But I did have some trepidation because February of last year, I was one of the keynote speakers at Traffic and Conversion, Digital Marketers Annual Conference. And I put up this slide with the big messenger logo, and then I hit my little clicker, and the message said, or the wording said, marketers may ruin messenger. And that is my concern. It has been all along, is that marketers treat messenger just like an email broadcasting platform, and they don't really take time to nurture the relationships and have them short, informal, conversational, really deeply listening to what people want and not using it as a broadcast mechanism. So Andrew, I really feel that messenger as an adjunct to, like, you know, doing customer care, social customer care, is going to be one of the main areas that brands and businesses will excel.
All right. And then we've got some other questions in the Q&A as well. Do you want me to read those to you, Mari? And then most of them.
Yeah, I can see them.
Oh, you can see them as well. Okay.
Yeah, so we're over the hour. We can go just a few more minutes if folks want.
Say that again.
We're over the hour, so I can go just a few more minutes to answer some questions.
Okay. Yeah. If you're willing.
Yeah, no problem. John is saying, how do you think the potential changes to newsfeed privacy, et cetera, will impact e-commerce stores' ability to sell through Facebook? John, if you're an e-commerce store, you are in a very fortunate position, because both Facebook and Instagram are really, really accelerating their features and products that they're rolling out to work with store owners, both physical retail, but particularly e-commerce. So on Instagram, they have the ability to do the shoppable tags. But then recently they introduced a new feature where you can sell a product without anybody even leaving Instagram, right? So right now that's in a beta test with about 23 brands, and then they have about 50 creators that they're working with. So, you know, when it starts kind of the top down and they're working with some major celebrities and brands, that once that feature is locked in and they've got it going really well, then that will open up to small business owners and e-commerce store owners. So I think that, you know, bottom line impact to newsfeed privacy is that you're in a fortunate position to be able to continue to advertise using Instagram, particularly stories, and then have people shop without even leaving the apps. That's definitely possible in Instagram, and then it'll be coming to Facebook too. Lizette, what is a good or minimum budget for small private brands to spend on a single ad? That, Lizette, the minimum budget is like $1, right? It's $1, but you really better to start with the end in mind. Remember Dr. Pete with his new breakthrough detox product. So his goal was to get 20 licensed psychologists in a room to give him a briefing on this new breakthrough technology. That was his goal. So start with that in mind. And they had about $300 initially. When they found they got like 90 our participants, our attendees, they were happy to spend just a little bit more. He spent a few $100s more and got like the 117 people now. So that's where it's like, it's not, you don't start with the minimum budget, start with what you want to accomplish. Naveen is asking, when will ad breaks be available worldwide? I don't know the question to that. I just recently got ad breaks on my own page. It's not really going to pay the mortgage, but we'll see. We'll see if Facebook's generous with their ad monetization. They are encouraging us to create videos, longer videos, 3 minutes or more. You can only monetize videos that are 3 minutes or longer because that's the length they need to be able to insert ads. Let's see, Brandon Bowers is asking, in terms of creating groups on Facebook, when your company has a few larger customers, for example, ad production company or a small consulting firm, what would their Facebook groups look like? Yeah, that's a great one, Brandon. You know, and now here's the thing. I'm not going to say that having a group is like necessary or prerequisite or applicable to absolutely every business and every industry and every niche. But it might be, you know, an ad production company, you might have a small user group of people that love to share great ads that they've seen, or ask for feedback on ads, have a kind of small peer group of people actually willing to share and interact. I have many groups that I run. One is called my Inner Circle. We have about 600 people in there. And a lot of people, it's like their go-to source for asking everything and anything to do with social media marketing. And there's a lot of peer support. So that's the nice thing too about when you have a business run group, you don't always have to be the one being, you know, the main expert. You'll have other folks too that want to be participating. Adriana is asking, how would a small group likely be defined? I mean, it could be 20 people, you know, it could be 20, it could be 10, 12, it could be 500. I mean, there's not an actual number, but Zuckerberg saying small group, he means, my guess is a few hundred. He doesn't mean like thousands, right? Like Red Table Talk has 500,000 in their Facebook group. They got 5 million followers on the show, but 500,000 in the group. So I think that's probably it for now.
Yeah, I think that's about it. All right. Well, thank you so much for attending today again, and thank you, Mari, for joining today.
My pleasure. I sure wish I could have
content
got the
is
camera
always
to play
incredible.
nice. Yeah.
And we always get such amazing reviews from people after every time we've done an event with you, of everyone just saying how truly valuable it is. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. I know everybody on the call does as well. Once again, if you do want to take advantage of the offer today, I'll put the link into the chat here. And again, it's not going to ask you for payment information. It's not going to ask you for anything like that. All it does is it gets you connected with one of our people. And the first thing they're going to do, break down your business and make sure that it's a good fit for both sides. We don't want to bring on clients that aren't a good fit. We want a long-lasting relationship with you, and we want to partner with you on growing your business. So thank you so much. Any last words, Mari?
I was just typing in the chat. Definitely check out the Keap offer. Your customer service is amazing. And that's my team and I over the years have always found tremendous customer service from you guys. So really appreciate it. It's a great product too. And as you say, you got to have somewhere to capture those leads and convert them into paying customers. So
thank you so much. And we will sign off.
Wonderful. We'll see you again
Take
soon.
care.
Thanks.
Bye.